Okay, so that was weird. I was doing a recording, and is it doing now? Wow. And it appears that my computer tried to hibernate, and it crashed in the middle of the recording, and I don't think that take is good anymore. So, hi, I'm in Rome. I meant to do this last night before I left the hotel, but it got to be 2 a.m., and I was just too tired. And now I'm sitting right next to the Colosseum and the Forum and so forth. And it's just such a nice day, I don't want to go inside to the terminal. So here I am, sort of doing my video blog. I'll give you a quick look. That'll be the Forum and Colosseum up there. I don't think you can see. Maybe a little bit. So this has been Rome. I get Rome has been nice. It's been hectic sometimes, but it's been nice. Which is really a good summary of my trip as a whole. You know, when it's going well, it's very relaxing and soothing, and I feel very independent. I was at a restaurant a few minutes ago, and there was a big squabble at another table about how to split the check. And I'm going, well, I don't need to split the check because I'm eating by myself, and I can eat whatever I want, and nobody's going to care. And there's no need to worry about getting separate checks and this and that, and then, you know, somebody wants to go here and somebody else wants to go there, and then you have to compromise. I don't have to do any of that. It's just, I can just go at my own pace. Nobody's going to hurry me. It's been great. And then there's been times when it's been hectic and crazy, and I just can't handle not having anybody else to help me. You know what I mean? I have to do everything myself. I don't think I'd take a trip like this again, but I'm quite enjoying Rome. I did a walking tour of the Colosseum. Well, actually, the area in general. There's the Vittorio Emanuele buildings behind me to my right. You can't see it from here, there's little buildings in the way, but and I went through the whole thing and through the Forum and through the Colosseum, and I had an audio tour, so it was quite nice. I had purchased those before I left. I would definitely recommend doing that, because then I can use my own MP3 player instead of, carrying on one of those clunky things. They tend to be a little bit more, though. It costs about €5, maybe 7 sometimes, to rent the clunky things. But you get to keep them if you buy them. Anyway, so I did that, but then that was all I could do. I was so exhausted. I dragged myself back to the hotel. I grabbed some food on the way in. The hotel was really nice. There's a really, really busy street outside, so it's hard to dart across. But like the first night I was here, when I was completely exhausted and hot from getting lost and wandering around, and I'll probably tell the whole story later, but I was hot and I was exhausted and I needed to get food, and so I asked the guy at the front desk where I could get some food around here. And since it was late, it's kind of a bad area. He helped me order a pizza. He explained the menu to me. We picked some things out, and then he placed the call and sent them up to my room, and that was really nice. But anyway, I did the Colosseum walking tour. I was exhausted afterwards. That was about the most I could do. And then I was in trouble because that was Saturday, and today is Monday, and today I'm leaving in a few hours. And I wanted to do the Vatican Museum, and I wanted to do another walking tour of the Pantheon, and there's a day trip I wanted to do to Oslo, which is this colony. So Sunday morning, I'm sitting here, I'm worried because I know that the walking trip of the Pantheon is probably going to be more fun for me than the Vatican Museum. But the Vatican Museum is usually closed on Sundays, except for the last Sunday of the month, at which point they're open and they're free admission, but they're only open in the morning. They stop letting people in at 12:30, and they kick everyone out at 2. So if I'm going to do the Vatican, I need to do it then. So I'm sitting here going, well, what if my legs can't handle 2 things in a day? And I thought, you know what? I'll try it. Worst case, I do the Pantheon on Monday, and I lose out a day. So I go to the Vatican Museum, and it was great. Lots of art, very pretty. Not as exciting to me as the ancient ruins, but still very nice, and I'm glad I went. But they had closed off all the little shortcuts where you could get to the Sistine Chapel and out faster, so I had to go through everything, so I was pretty tired. But I stopped, and I had some lunch, and I relaxed, and, gave my knees a chance to calm down and decompress. And I thought, I can do it. I will go to the bus stop. I will take a bus over to the Pantheon so that, I can cut out the middleman there. And then I'll make sure to stop and rest every so often, but I think I can do this. So I start walking, and I go around to the St. Peter's Basilica Square. I don't go into the Basilica because it would cost money, and I'm already, pushing it. But, and I start walking towards where on my map I think there should be a bus stop. And I see a sign that says buses this way, so I go this way. And there's a bridge, but there's another sign that still says buses this way, so I went this way. And, yeah, eventually I saw a sign for the Pantheon. So I thought, oh, well, if it's really this close, I'm doing okay. I'll just stop and rest and get some ice cream. And I did. The gelato there's great. And, I'll just head to the Pantheon. And it was quite a lot further than the sign seemed to be indicating. And I was pretty exhausted. But then I'm there, and I'd planned out beforehand how to get there in public transportation. It was actually kind of difficult. So I'm like, well, I can't not do the tour now that I'm here. I can't go all the way and then turn around. I mean, I did that at the Loop, and I should have gone in that day because then I would have had 2 days with the 2 or 3 hours each instead of one. But, oh well, I'm not going to do that. So I go, and I find the starting point, and I do the walking tour, and I have to stop before the end of the tour. I got all the way through Caesar's assassination. It was great, but then the last track, I couldn't anymore. I knew where there was a bus stop, crawl to the bus stop, every step hurts. And I get there, and I don't know any of the buses, and I don't have a bus route map, but I see one that connects. It tells me that it connects to the metro at one stop, and I know how to use the metro. I've got a ticket. I've got a 3-day pass that covers both the metro and the bus. So I'm going, okay, it's a metro stop I've never been to, so I have no idea what it looks like to know when to get off, but I'm going to try it anyway because what else can I do? So I get on the bus, and it goes around the corner, and there's the Vittorio Emanuele building where I had started the Colosseum tour. Okay, so I get off the bus because I know that the Colosseum has a metro station right next to it. What I had forgotten was when you're exhausted, that's a really long block and a half to walk, with every step's shooting pains. And then I have to get down onto the metro, and then of course there's no place to sit. I go to Termini, I pick up some food, and I'm just gonna rest for like 5 minutes. I can't stop and rest as much as I want because I need to get back to the hotel. I go and I get on the metro that goes to my hotel, and I drag myself into the hotel. It was just awful. I'm sitting here going, well, I can't do my day trip. I can't go get on a bus and go walk around ruins all day. I'm going to have to do something more sedate. But when I was showing Jimmy the route that I had taken on Google Maps, he noticed that there was a landmark on there called the Time Elevator. So today, I took it easy. I had a leisurely breakfast, meandered my way back over here, and I went to the Time Elevator, which was so ridiculously bad. It was glorious in its badness. I did a combo feature, and the first feature was the Ode to Life. They called it a 5D production because, I don't know, it's 3D, right? And then it's got the motion, and then it goes through time. Yeah. Yeah. It was gloriously bad. Very little science behind it at all. It just sort of asserted, and then they spontaneously developed wings. Whoa, how awesome! Whatever. And, really bad CGI. And if you remember back when 3D movies first started, they didn't really pop out at you much, and they were sort of, if you look at them askance a little bit, the whole picture gets so garbled you can't see anything. It was that kind of 3D. And I had a blast. It was great. One of the projectors, there are 3 projectors, and the one on the right crashed. So then, next to the protozoas, there was a big sign that said Pentium processor, and then next to the early fishies and the dinosaurs, it had the Windows XP starting up screen. It was great. And then they did the main feature, which was the trip through the history of Rome. They have this really bad pun when they say the past is present. And they said it like 12 times in case you didn't get it the first time. But, Oh god. Horribly. It was hysterically bad. They had like 4 or 5 huskies barking and wagging their tails as a vicious wolf pack. And they killed Caesar in the wrong place. And just all these little inaccuracies and all this glorious, narmy, over the top acting. And they tried to have a story in there. And they had a guy who was supposed to be like an Italian Doc Brown. And it was hysterical. Oh god, I'm very glad I went. It didn't cost all that much. And it was just nostalgic as hell, and just, it was great. uh, and yeah, and I had lunch, and I'm just kind of chillaxing. I really liked Rome. I think so far Rome is the best. Um, Definitely the best hotel. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that my friend Nike has booked me a much nicer hotel than I would have booked because she's always tries to spending money on me. So, but of the hotels that I paid for, this one was really nice. The best for sure. Um, they gave me a ride to the metro station so I wouldn't have to cross the busy street with my bag and all that. Yeah, Rome was great. I took lots of pictures. Some of them are up now. I had internet at the hotel, so I was able to actually put up some of the pictures in the earlier videos. Yeah, I think that's about it. It is now about 3:40, and at I think 7:45 my train leaves for Paris, and then tomorrow morning I change and on to Germany, on to Cologne, where I then get a train to Bonn. Yeah. See you in Germany.